So, ano ba talaga yung ginagawa ng bangko
Sa pera.
sa pera?
Yun ang gusto nating alamin eh. Ano bang ginagawa ng bangko sa pera natin?
Mm-mm.
Talaga bang sinisafeguard nila yung pera natin? Yun ba talaga yung kanilang main job? Ikaw, ano
Yes.
sa tingin mo ginagawa ng bangko sa pera natin?
Use it to invest also into securities.
Pera mo, pera ko, pera ng ibang tao ilalagay sa isang repository. Tapos yung pera na yun i-accumulate into certain amount. Tapos ipapahiram nila yun sa ibang mga tao as loan.
Correct.
Pero yung promise na yun, kailangan bayaran mo with a certain interest.
Yeah.
Kung interest nun is 12%, let's say between 5 to 12% per year, then every time na binabalikan kita ng 1% sa savings na binigay mo sa akin, tumutubo ako ng 11% sa 12% na binayad sa akin sa loan.
So, the concept is like us, di ba? So, individually, meron tayong wealth building strategies. Si bank,
Yes.
ganun din ang ginagawa niya.
Yun din.
Okay, so welcome to the Wealth Building Journey podcast, where we discuss strategies to build, protect, and grow your wealth. So if you're looking for actionable insights to achieve financial freedom, you've come to the right place. So join me, my name is Dennis Hilario, and my co-host Paul Familara, as we take you on a journey of wealth building through smart money management and financial planning. This episode will be discussing the role of banks in wealth building, the pros and cons of keeping your money in the bank, and alternative investment strategies. Whether you're just starting your financial journey or looking to take it to the next level, so this episode is packed with valuable insights. But before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Wealth Building Journey podcast. All right, so hi Paul, how are you?
I'm good, Dennis. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. So how's life treating you so far since our last episode?
Everything's really good. A week ago, when we had this meeting about, when we started to decide to create a building journey podcast, I'm very happy that, as you mentioned, we are now forced to learn more, and all the things that we've learned, we share. Of course, we add our experience. So ako naman, everyday pinapractice ko yung experience na yun. Siyempre, may mga challenges, like business challenges, meron yan. May mga, so dumadating yung point na parang ang hirap din pala, no? Pag meron kang mga challenges na dinadaanan. Pero balik ka lang sa principles and then you get back on track.
Ako naman, medyo busy ako ngayon sa So, trying to recalibrate my diet. Sorry, medyo out of topic. So, I consulted with the nutritionist kasi as you grow old, ang hirap na mag-weight loss eh. I don't know if you experience that as well. I've been working out almost every other day, pero ang hirap ng weight loss. So, I consulted a nutritionist. Actually, may meeting kami sa Thursday. So, and we'll see kung ano yung mga diet plans na isasuggest niya sa akin.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. So, yun ako busy ngayon. So, health is wealth, ika nga, di ba?
Totoo yan. Actually, isa sa mga principles ko yan na if you run a business, you have to sustain your business with a good health. Kasi hindi mo pwedeng gawin yung day-to-day task, thinking and doing things.
Right.
Yung physical ability mo, mental ability mo is also factored into what type of lifestyle you live, no? Kung meron ka bang exercise, kumakain ka ng tama, natutulog ka ng tama.
Right. Generally, what's your diet plan? Meron ka bang sinusunod na discipline?
I'm very balanced in my food. I don't eat much fat anymore. I mean, to be honest, walang fat talaga. I make sure that I eat at least fish a day, eggs a day, less on carbohydrates, rice, wala na ako halos rice. I eat some yung bread kasama nung or a little bit of pasta. Yeah. Meat, red meat, yes, but not in volumes, which is very important. Soft drinks, talagang hindi naman totally. I drink soft drinks pero yung Diet Coke pero very minimal.
Zero.
Yeah, zero pala, Coke Zero. Alcohol, has been reduced as well,
Good.
very significantly. Siguro once na lang. Dati I drink like a cup of red wine a night. Ngayon,
Mm,
pag may event na lang or something.
mm,
So yeah, I made sure that exercise, yes, of course. I play golf
mm.
weekly, and then do some chores and work at home. May mga projects ako,
Right,
which is
right.
a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important talaga yung balance na diet. Me naman, ano lang, high protein and fiber na diet. Ano. At times, I
Mm.
do fasting. Like, I eat mga lunchtime na, no, from yesterday's dinner. So, pretty
Yeah.
much that lang. Pero even that, yun nga, like I said, hindi ako naglo-lose ng weight. Meron akong target
Oh,
weight eh. So, yun nga, I need to calibrate it siguro with the professional para, I can achieve my target weight.
surely you will do that. Madali lang naman yan kung gusto mo talaga. May discipline naman dyan na susundan.
Correct, correct.
Siguro
Alright.
kunin mo
Mm.
yung dietitian coach ni Carlos Yulo.
Oh. yung ba yung girl? I think
Oo.
yung girl kasi parang physical therapist yata yun. At the same time, dietitian na rin.
Yeah, oh, lahat
Okay.
ng kailangan niya na titignan. Pero of course, sports related yun. If
Correct,
you're an
correct.
athlete.
Right, right. Okay,
Si
so,
LeBron James meron din ganun eh.
si LeBron James, yeah.
Mm. From the
Dapat,
time na nag-high school superstar siya up to this point, yun pa rin yung kanyang ano.
ang galing, ano. Yeah.
Oo,
So, important din. Actually, part yan ng wealth building, yung health. Yeah,
correct.
it's also considered as your wealth if you have a good health. No? But anyway, yeah, maybe we can dive into to our topic, no?
Yes.
So, I believe our topic is about like beyond yung mga pros and cons ka of banking, what is the basics or what are the basics of banking and so on, ano. So we have a few points here. So maybe we can start on like why is having a bank or bank account essential for wealth building? What's your take on it?
Okay, the history of banking is really about safeguarding everyone's wealth from mga thief, di ba? Kasi normally yan, bawat castles nung may mga hari pa, no? Meron sarili silang lugar na pwedeng paglagyan ng mga properties nila, mga maliliit na properties nila, gold normally or silver or what have you na valuable, gems, tapos sinisafeguard yan ng mga sundalo, ng mga soldiers. Ganun din yung bank, yung modern bank design, they're put into a vault and then it's being safeguarded. However, the difference between that bank then and now, nag-evolve na siya into we are putting in our money there and the banks make more money out of that money. So, paano mo ngayon, ang pag-discuss natin yan is try to understand what is the purpose of banking for us, wherein we can also join in that growth of money that they're doing. Yes. So,
Right.
so first of all, yes, storage of funds, making it sure that it is safe and secured. But then again, if you go deeper, meron lang certain amount that the bank will secure you off, di ba? So that's why you have to revolve your money from the bank. Then it also is accessibility of your funds, may liquidity. You can pull out money in and out either digitally or physical money by withdrawing or transferring, putting in money here, there and using it for payment system. And of course, giving you that chance to save that money by adding more, and then being safeguarded there. And then basically, it's really about your ability to make use of that money, of other people's money using loan, in which we will dive in later on. How about you? How do you use your bank?
That's a good question. Ano? Well, pretty much, it's just everyone's basic financial tool, di ba? So when it comes to savings, pagbayad ng bills, sabi nga natin, sa credit, and what not. While it's possible to manage naman wealth without a bank, pero it's gonna be complicated. Ano? Kasi yan na yung bridge natin, yan yung channel natin to, or vehicle, no, to invest or pay bills and earn. Ano? So, you'll miss out many opportunities pag wala kang bank account, no, or structured na financial services. Hindi lang talaga siya storage of money, but again, a tool so that you can make investments, pay bills, and so forth. So
Correct.
that leads to the question. Other than that, what are the primary advantages ba of keeping money in the bank as opposed to keeping it in your house or in a vault or something like that?
Well, lagyan natin ng context, no? Kung meron akong malaking vault sa bahay, tapos lahat na na-earn kong pera, binabayad sa akin in cash, ipapasok ko dun sa vault. Anytime na may kailangan akong bilhin, bayaran, pwede kong buksan yung vault, kunin ko yung pera, ilabas ko. What if, ang problema lang, if you keep on building your wealth, gaano kalaking vault ang lalagay mo sa bahay?
Yeah.
Diba?
Parang si Breaking Bad. I don't
Kung
know.
meron kang gold, silver, special gems, or special na mga jewelries and watches siguro ng mga mahal or what have you, no? Mga precious assets on top of cash na naiipon mo sa business mo. Kahit na sabihin natin meron kang store, retail store, tapos lahat ng cash niyo na binabayad, itatago mo lang sa sarili mo. Medyo, in the long run, it becomes disadvantageous. That's why the advantage of bank is you have someone securing that money for you. Supposedly.
Yeah.
Which we will discover later on that not enough security is actually there. But the principle is there's a security because someone's safeguarding it from anything that is out of, sabi ko nga, kung may papasok na magnanakaw, there's a thief coming into your house, alam niya na kung saan siya pupunta. Sa bank, if they steal that money, there is a lot of layers that they have to go through. Kailangan complicated heist yung gagawin mo. So, may malaking vault doon, mas maraming cash or mas maraming value na mailalagay. Number one. Number two is, of course, liquidity. You can go in and out of the bank, ask for money or deposit your money at the same time or through digital purpose, di ba? And what they promise also is that you earn interest.
Yeah.
Meaning, if you put your money there, they'll give you 1 to 2% per year. Actually, maliit yun kasi nga sayang yung pera mo na nakalagay doon, but we will discuss that later. That interest will add more to your wealth, no? Kahit na gaano kaliit yun. That it's either interest in savings or interest in long-term deposit. And also you'd be able to borrow money from them as well, which means even if your deposit is, let's say, 1 million pesos, but because you have a good credit, they can borrow you more than that on top of other collaterals, then you'd be able to use that money for other purpose of wealth building.
Correct. Actually, like you said, 1%, 2% of something is better than zero. Kasi pag nasa bahay mo lang yan o nasa vault lang yan, hindi yan mag-earn ng anything, di ba? Plus
there are times that that percentage is actually advantageous. For example, if an economy is going down in terms of value, let's say may recession and everything, and your bank can still give you a guaranteed, let's say, long-term time deposit of 5%, then okay na yun kaysa sa nasa labas 3%, 2% lang kinikita mo.
Right. And practically speaking, I cannot imagine a life nang wala akong bank. Na lahat ng pera ko nasa magbabayad ka lang simple ng internet, for example, di ba? I mean, kung wala kang bank, punta ka ng cash, pupunta ka sa bayad center para magbayad. Suppose dun sa pag may bank ka, you can do it online anytime. So, practically speaking, it's really inconvenient na wala kang bank account. But of course, because our utility system has been designed to use the bank as a facility
for transaction.
Correct. I agree.
But eventually, as the modern people have been envisioning, meron ng later on digital currency and online, hindi na china-challenge na nila yung use ng bank.
Yeah.
Kasi sa bank may mga fees involved dahil nga meron silang operating expense like leasing a property, paying manpower, all of these transactional aspects will have includes fees, no?
Correct, correct. So, if you look at it in a high level, so it's just having money in the bank is the primary or the basic thing that you can do to start your wealth building. Tama? Is that a correct statement?
Well, I can restate that statement. Putting money in the bank allows you to use that money to be able to work your way in wealth building.
Right.
Not necessarily putting all your money in the bank will secure you of wealth building. It's just, for me, I have learned this for a long time already. Until before na hindi ko talaga naiintindihan yung banking system, is that akala ko, sige, ipon ng ipon, put your money in the bank and you're secured. Of course, we've heard of PDIC, di ba?
Right.
Philippine Investment,
Deposit Insurance.
No? Deposit insurance. That I think up to this point, 500,000 lang yung ini-insure.
Yeah,
no?
something like
Even
that.
if your money is 3 million, if the bank became bankrupt, 500,000 lang sisigurado na ibabalik sa'yo. So where does your other 2.5 million go? None. Zero. Wala sila na liability to you. So that's why since then I use bank as a facility. Meaning if I have money, I put a few in the bank for liquidity for any purpose of emergency, and then the rest I have to make sure that it goes around.
Right. So
because the economy grows when money goes around, the velocity of money, as they call it.
Correct. But can you say that opening a bank account is a prerequisite in wealth building?
In modern day of wealth building, opening a bank account is a prerequisite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But like you said, there are disadvantages, especially if you're doing long-term wealth building. So having said that, ano ba yung mga disadvantages na yon? If we can lay it down, or iterate those things. No?
Yeah. Have you noticed that if you withdraw money from the bank, there's a fee? Even if you borrow money, there's a fee. Every time you transact a certain amount, transferring money from international purpose. Like ako, let's say may nabenta ako sa Pilipinas, papadala ko dito sa New Zealand, or if I send out money from New Zealand to the Philippines, there's a fee that is taken out, right? So that's another disadvantage. Why? Because your money, instead of being the same money, is actually reduced because of the fees, right? Interest rate, no? Again, as we mentioned, bank will promise you an interest rate on your savings, but that's very low because if you know how to use your money properly, meaning move it to different investment vehicles, ilinagay mo yung pera mo. Let's say you have earned 1 million from saving 1 million from your business and putting it into the bank. If that returns to you after a year with 1% interest, you should be happy or not? Maybe not if you know how to use your money, kasi pwede mo ilagay yon somewhere else that is actually earning you more than 1%, 2%, 4%, 5%, maybe 12%. And that spread of 11% between 12% to 1 is actually the opportunity loss that you have not gained. So that's a disadvantage. And of course, it has lack of growth kasi pag nagkaroon ng inflation at yung pera mo nakalagay doon, hindi mo nagagamit. Pag nagkaroon ng 3% inflation, kahit may 1% or 2% ka na return every year, lugi ka pa rin.
Correct.
Kasi yung pera bumaba pa rin.
Correct,
diba?
correct.
So regardless kung itatago mo sa ilalim ng unan mo, sa baul mo, or sa bangko, pag inflation ang tumama, talagang matatamaan yung pera mo. Yung 100 pesos mo dati na pambili ng hopya, you have to pay 120 pesos para mabili mo yung the same hopya kasi nagkaroon ng inflation.
Oo nga, correct. Siguro define ulit natin 'yan, So kasi last time napag-usapan natin 'yan, Pero for the sake of our new audience, So inflation is like basically, kasi ako naman, ang definition ko talaga diyan is pag tumataas yung total spend ng economy, which is yung GDP nga, in effect yung supply is bumababa. So, law of supply and demand. Bumaba yung supply, nagkakaroon ng inflation kasi law of supply and demand is pag mababa yung supply, tumataas ang presyo. No? Tumaas ang presyo,
Okay.
that's the inflation. And
That's
like you said,
that's one form of the factor that why we're having inflation. Another way of another factor of having inflation is the valuation of your money, which means kapag I think nung kanina nag-usap tayo no about money where if they print more of the same of your money, lalo na nung COVID, no, nagkaroon ng printing ng money. Lahat ng mundo ginawa itong proseso na to na nagprint sila ng sarili nilang pera on top of what is supposed to be printed.
correct.
So ibig sabihin yung pera mo bumaba. So lahat ng pambili mo ngayon ng mga bagay-bagay is mas malaki na yung presyo ng pambili mo ng the same item. Kaya nagkakaroon ng inflation.
Correct. So, yun nga, like you said, if that inflation outpaces yung interest rate ng bangko, so doon papasok yung loss, no? So, yun nga, talking about gains and losses of your money in the bank, no? So, aside from interest, meron pa bang mga possible, vehicles or gains that you can expect when you keep your money in the bank?
To be honest, yun yung major things that I see na dapat abangan or maging worry tayo about, no? In terms of the disadvantages. Ang pinakamalaking disadvantage talaga is yung lack of growth ng pera mo. Kasi kung, again, anybody who's putting in money in one place that is not moving will not give back more money to you. Because, as I said, there are many other different investment vehicles like buying an asset that earns more than the interest rate that's given to you by the bank on savings, or using that money to buy, let's say, stocks or mutual funds, being part of another company's business. If it yields you more than the 1 to 2% that is promised of you, then you are lacking the growth of your wealth. Let's say you put it in a time deposit and they promise you 5 to 6% of interest rate on time deposit. What happens is that if you have an earning from an investment worth 12%, you still lose 7% rather than putting it in that investment.
That's right.
So, kunyari, linigay mo sa stock market, yung stock market, 1 million mo, linigay mo sa isang stock, tapos kumita ka ng 12% dun sa stock na yun, let's say Jollibee. Pero yung yung 1 million mo, linigay mo lang sa term deposit na may 5 to 6%. Mas malaki yung kinita ng 1 million mo dun sa Jollibee, sa stock, kaysa dun sa nakatago sa bangko na 5%.
So, ano ba talaga yung ginagawa ng bangko sa
pera?
Sa pera. Let's call it, is that, tama ba? Correct me if I'm wrong. We call it fiat money.
Tama yan.
That's fiat money, no?
Yun ang gusto nating alamin eh. Ano bang ginagawa ng bangko sa pera natin? Talaga bang sinisafeguard nila yung pera natin? Yun ba talaga yung kanilang main job? Ikaw, ano sa tingin mo ginagawa ng bangko sa pera natin?
Yeah, well, basically the banks serve as aside from the gatekeepers. So they use it to invest also into securities. That's my understanding, no.
Correct.
But maybe you can expand.
Yeah, let me expound on that. So ito na discover ko. At saka nagtanong-tanong din ako inisip ko sa sarili ko, teka lang, ano bang ginagawa ng bangko sa pera namin? Tsaka ang bangko ba is a business or it's a charity or it's an institutional support? Nalaman natin na yung bangko pala is a business.
Right.
Narinig ko ito when my dad, when we were sitting down, when I was in college, nasa table, sabi ng papa ko, pagtayo tayo ng bangko. Sabi ko, bakit? Di ba meron lang certain people na nagtatayo ng bangko? Hindi, pwede tayo magtayo ng bangko, rural bank. Lahat ng mga gusto magpasok ng pera doon, pwede nating ilagay sa bangko tapos pahihiramin natin sila para gawa sila ng kanilang mga agricultural needs, no? Pero yung bangko na yun, may power din yun na mangutang sa ibang bangko para madagdagan yung supply niya. So, anong ginagawa ng bangko? Pera mo, pera ko, pera ng ibang tao, ilalagay sa isang depository. Tapos yung pera na yun, i-accumulate into certain amount, tapos ipapahiram nila yun sa ibang mga tao as loan.
Correct.
Pero yung promise na yun, kailangan bayaran mo with a certain interest.
Interest, yeah.
So, kung interest nun is 12%, let's say between 5 to 12% per year, then every time na binabalikan kita ng 1% sa savings na binigay mo sa akin, tumutubo ako ng 11% sa 12% na binayad sa akin doon sa loan. Correct?
Right. Exactly.
So, business na kagad yun. Kumita na ako out of 1 million, may 120,000 ako makukuha. Ang ibibigay ko sa iyo 1%, that's 10,000 out of your 1 million na pinahiram sa akin.
Correct. So the concept is like us, 'di ba? So individually meron tayong wealth building strategies. Si bank,
Yes.
Ganun din ang ginagawa niya.
Yun din. So isa yun sa mga sa design niya, no? Papahiram niya yung pera na naipon niya sa iba-ibang depositor. Secondly, i-invest niya rin yun sa stock market or sa money market or sa lend. So sa isang bangko, sa isang institution ng bangko, merong tinatawag na investing arm na grupo, na department. Yun yung naghahanap kung saan ko ililipat itong pera na to na pinasok ng mga depositors. And of course, the other things that they're doing is they are a hub for transactional aspects. So meron silang mga tellers, meron doon mga managers na nag-handle ng deposito, withdrawal, payment, transfer, payment, salary, no, ng mga employees and so on. So mas marami pang complicated aspect, lalo na yung mga malalaking bangko or yung mga international bank-to-bank capabilities. But that's where the money lies in terms of where the money goes around inside the bank. And that's why bank is a very big business.
Right. Kasi on top of that, sa mga interest and mga gains nila sa investment, like you said, nabanggit natin kanina, so every transaction may mga fees pa. So additional revenue stream din ni bank 'yon, no? So, right now ngayon, pag nag-transfer ka ng money online, that's 25 pesos. 'Di ba? So imagine millions of 25 pesos per day. That's a big money.
Actually, hindi lang yun, Dennis, no? Let's look at just a basic principle of salary. So, how many employees do you have? For example, I had, let's say, 200 employees and I'm paying them monthly, for example, just for easy computation. And all their salary goes through the bank, right? So they can withdraw their salary from the bank. I deposit their salary in the bank. But the bank requires us to keep in an average daily balance. And they also wanted to keep a certain amount, let's say 100 pesos. Hindi mo pwedeng isara, hindi mo pwedeng withdrawin lahat ng sweldo mo, kailangan may naiiwan 100 pesos doon. Okay, so doon sa 200 employees na yun, 100 pesos times 200, meron silang kinikip na 20,000.
Correct.
Doon sa bangko na hindi mo pwedeng ilabas. On top of the transaction fees na binabayaran mo.
Right.
So ibig sabihin, meron silang 20,000 na pwede nilang pagkitaan.
Correct.
Dapat transactional service lang yun. Pinasok ko, ilalabas mo dapat yan. Hindi. Kailangan. So, by their own policies, kumikita sila.
Correct. Clarify lang natin,
mo, there's 1 million employees in that policy. Di ba? Right. So, 100 times 1 million, ilan yun? 100 million na pwede nila pagkitaan. Hindi nila pera yun.
Correct. And clarify lang natin, pwede siyang ilabas, may penalty ka lang. Kung bumayad ka ng bank charge, di ba? Ganun din. Kumita pa rin sila.
Kumita pa rin sila.
Exactly. So, right, tama ka, no? So, bank is actually a good business. But of course, malaking capital to set up a bank, di ba?
Actually, hindi lang capital. It's really about, well, just like any business that needs capital, you can actually raise that capital. It's really about regulation. How do you be able to secure all these transactional items without being, lalo na ngayon, may hackers pa, no? Kasi digital na.
At saka, kumbaga, mahirap yung dadaanan mo kasi may marami mga government regulations dyan eh. 'Di ba? Pagdating sa bank, controlled by central bank, no? If I'm not mistaken.
That's why the futurists right now are looking at going outside of the bank,
Correct.
using an encrypted process. Kaya
Mm.
nagkaroon ng Bitcoin yung plano ng
Blockchain.
Bitcoin. Para encrypted process yung pera mo
Mm.
na pinasok dun sa kanila at ilalabas din. Pero saan ipapasok? Kailangan pag-usapan saan ipapasok yung value ng pera na yun. Pero at
Mm.
least makakapag-transact ka na walang fees kahit international.
Right,
Kahit
right.
anong value. Dati, pati percentage of amount ng ipaprocess mo, may certain fee na ibabayad.
Right. Yeah. Kasi yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina, these are the traditional banking, no? So,
Yes.
as we all know, nandito na yung digital banking. So, how has digital banking transformed yung traditional banking services in your perspective?
Well, in the traditional bank, there is also digital banking. So
Mm.
nagkaroon ng transformation kasi, like for instance, whenever you make payments, you can use the bank to pay for direct debit to, let's say, your utilities, di ba?
Mm.
That's digital banking. You can transfer money from here to abroad by making your bank and the bank somewhere else talk to each other, no?
Mm.
By transferring money. It's just actually a an email transaction until an actual money transfer has occurred. So
Mm.
nakapasok sa libro nila yan na merong pinautang akong pera dun sa kabilang side ng bangko. Mamaya
Mm.
niya ako sisingilin tungkol doon, 'di ba?
Mm.
So yun yung process ng digital banking. Now and then came about the credit cards that you can now borrow money out of the credit card. Hindi ka na pupunta sa bangko to apply for a loan. The
Mm.
credit card will vouch for you, be a credit card member, and you can use their money so that you can borrow it. Credit cards are not banks, but they
Mm.
are also beholden to the banks out of the
Mm.
money that they're lending out to the
Right.
creditors. At the same time, this digital banking allowed us to be able to grow our money using their kasi may mga investment vehicles din sa mga bangko eh. So for example, ako nag-invest din ako sa bank
Mm.
investment vehicles nila, no? So maglalagay ka ng pera doon, sila magpapalago. So wala nang physical pera talaga na
Mm.
ipapasok o ilalabas. Wala
True,
kang
true.
binibilang ng mga mo yung kamay mo kakabila ng papel, no? It's just about using digital. Now, the future, as we mentioned earlier, mas iba na. Cryptocurrency na,
Mm. Mm.
no? Na pinaglilipat-lipat nila yung pera sa cloud. Yung pag sinabing encrypted, walang ibang makakanakaw kasi until ma-crack yung formula nung blockchain na
Mm.
tinatawag, dun mo lang makukuha yung pera. Hindi mata-transfer or mamumove yun although encryption is using also computer computation, kaya kailangan mabilis yung computer mo.
Mm. Mm. Kasi may handshake lagi yan eh.
Yes.
That magkakaroon ng tinatawag na ledger, no, virtually.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
secures your the value of your cryptocurrency, no.
Yes.
Pero like right now, what's this? If you go to ano ba yung mga digital banking natin ngayon, meron din kasing tinatawag na e-wallet, 'di ba? So we have GCash dito sa Philippines, Paymaya, and yung mga iba pang maliliit, ano. Diyan ba sa New Zealand widely used ang e-wallet?
Yes, to be honest, ako hindi na ako nagdadala ng cash sa wallet ko.
Oh, okay.
I can use my phone to NFC to payment,
Right.
or I have a debit card that has a chip that I just tap it, no?
Mm.
Kaya lang ito na naman, si bangko na naman nauso, dati wala 'yon. Nauso na naman yung get charge for every time na magbabayad ka using that yung tap payment.
Right.
Dati wala 'yon. So
nag-charge na ngayon?
again, ha?
Nag-charge na dyan sa New
sila
Zealand.
between 1% to 2.5%.
Mm.
So ngayon meron kang machine
Right.
na doon mo itatap, no? Or kung gusto mo ipasok mo yung chip tapos ilagay mo yung pin mo. Sa akin nga, teka lang, pareho lang naman yung dumaan doon yung transaction eh. Anong difference na tinatap mo yung bakit may surcharge? Inallow ng bank yun, again, as their policy. to be honest, pwede mong tanggalin yun, but that's money-making strategy.
Correct. Kasi may charge si merchant, meron silang tinatawag na MDR, yung
Yes.
merchant discount rate, sinacharge sila. So the merchants now, well, that's another angle, I think, no? On top dun sa sinasabi mo na si bank is nagsi-charge, si merchant also, some merchants na nagsi-charge din sila ng certain
So, the merchant
percent.
itself, the merchant is using the facility of the bank. Ibig sabihin, sabi ni bank, sabi ni merchant, meron akong ipapahiram sa iyo na machine. So, dahil machine na yan, i-investan mo yan, kailangan ko i-charge yan sa iyo. So,
Correct.
kailangan may fees.
Per
So, si
transaction.
merchant will have to pay fees. That's why they said they have to deduct that. But on a different perspective of that is that, why did you get that machine? Isn't that an investment for you? Meaning, pampadali yan, pampabilis ng transaction. So, hindi na dapat yun na charge yan. Pero of course, in a mindset of transactions o modern transaction, akala natin okay din yun. Pero kung ako kasi, kahit na sentimo yung nawawala dun sa, yung mga dapat binayaran ko is $5 lang, tapos ngayon babayaran ko $5.10. Unti-unti na deteriorate yung pera mo sa wallet kasi hindi mo naman binili yung item, nagbayad ka lang ng fee. But then again, of course, we just follow whatever is available on the transactional process.
Though sa Philippines, hindi pa yan pinapractice, pero yung merchants, sila yung nag-charge yan. And some merchants, nag-charge sila ng minimum. Pag below minimum, charge sila ng certain percentage dun sa customer. Pero halimbawa 500 pesos, pero above 500 pesos na dumaan sa credit card, wala na silang charge, something like that. I don't know kung may regulation ng DTI dyan or ang government, pero some merchants are practicing that.
So if you look at the principle, bakit anything below 500 hindi mo charge ng fee, ng percentage merchant fee, but anything above that, pareho lang naman, regardless kung anong amount of money, it's the same wire movement of electronic item. So it's just a matter of policy.
Right. Now, if you look at say GCash now, actually I just recently saw it na ang dami na rin palang mga investment platform within GCash.
Really? I
And
didn't know that.
self-service. Yeah. So you can invest in, I think, if I'm not mistaken, even index funds na offshore, you can already invest. Meron silang in-house, they call it G Fund, I believe. And then they also have crypto. So within GCash, you can actually use that self-service to invest on things. Though may KYC sila, each platform, you have to submit your ID, passport, etc. Pero dun pa lang is already a good platform to invest on something. Actually, natuwa nga ako kasi I think mga 3 years ago, you're required, kung gusto mo magpataas ng transactions per month from 100, say, but dati kasi limited lang to 100,000 yung GCash per month na worth of transactions. Kung gusto mo mag-increase, you have to invest in GFund, minimum of 500 pesos. So ngayon, na-increase ako to 500,000. Nagbigay ako ng 500 sa GFund. So after 3 years, nakita ko now, it's 540 pesos na. So nag-earn na siya ng after 3 years, no?
0.8%.
Yeah. So imagine, nag-invest ako ng 50,000 doon. That's already magkano na, di ba? Sa 50,000 for 54,000. Something like that.
Okay.
So
50,040 pesos?
Sorry. From 500 pesos, naging 540 na siya ngayon. So, isabihin, kung ginawa kong 50,000 yung investment, that's supposed to be dapat 5,000, 54,000 na.
From 500 to 540?
Right.
That's 8%.
Correct.
Malaki yun.
Right. Yun. So, yeah. So, I'm just saying here na yung digital banking and electronic money now, as opposed to before, nadadaan ka sa mga brokers. So this time, self-service na through the platform. Sila na yung broker. You don't have to talk to anyone. You just do like peso averaging approach of investment. Then, that's a good wealth building opportunity as well. No?
Oo, actually yan ang nakita ni Jack Ma nung dinevelop niya from Alibaba na parang Amazon to a full finance company, no? Na basta i-allow ka ng government na kaya mo i-secure. That's why sa Securities Commission mo kukunin yung ano na yan, capabilities na yan, regulation na yan. Nung inallow siya, na naging financial capacity na lahat, even from, kasi nga nandun yun ang transaction na digital movement na
Correct.
So it makes sense for GCash to introduce that. Kung pinapasok mo yung pera mo doon, parang sinasabi nila yung convenience na pagpasok mo ng pera doon at gamitin siya for transactional purposes, pwede mo na rin ilipat yung extra mo na pera na linagay mo doon kasi nagde-deposito ka doon Parang meron kang iniipon na pera or may kinikita ka doon, ano? Parang kami, pag may nagbabayad sa amin using GCash doon sa Prima Carne business, meron iipon na pera doon. Kung hindi mo siya ilalabas kagad for any use, ilipat mo lang muna for investment, tas pagkitaan mo doon, it makes sense.
Yeah, you don't have to jump into another platform to invest, diba? Within GCash itself. Galing nga. So, at the same time, talagang ano rin si GCash like yung bank transfer fee nila is only 15 pesos. As opposed to banks, traditional banks na 25 pesos. No? That's a big difference. So,
actually, kapag sa stock market ka, hinahanap mo rin yung brokers na mas mababa ang fees.
Exactly, yeah.
For every transaction.
Right. So talking about, sa kanina, digital banking, let's jump naman dun sa, kasi napag-usapan na rin naman natin yung inflation, and then how can we mitigate yung inflation. Siguro, let's dive in dun sa banks as gateways to credit and investment products. So the question is, how do banks provide access to credit and investment products? Kanina GCash, yes, pero si banks, kung gusto natin sa banks, kasi siguro some people are more confident and secured sa bank over e-wallet, kasi e-wallet parang fairly bago pa lang sa market, di ba?
Etong item na to, itong topic na to is really important if you're wealth building. The banks being the gateways to credit and investment products. So the first time I came to New Zealand, eventually we made a point on the second day to sit down with the bank manager. So naghanap kami ng bangko na magiging secure kami, pinakamalapit sa titirahan namin. Tapos kinausap namin yung bank manager. Ang una namin mga tinanong, what is the minimum investment for a growth fund or growth index fund? So, meron silang mga investment vehicles available doon. Ano yung mga loan na pwede nyo pahiram? Car loan, housing loan, ano pang mga product loan, personal loan, yung mga pwede mo pahiram. And then also, tinatanong mo doon kung meron ba kayong insurance na available na inaano nyo, na pina-facilitate ninyo. Of course, hindi sila yung insurance company, pero they can facilitate brokerage to other insurance companies like car insurance, house insurance, personal insurance, health insurance. If they're able to do so, then they are a complete bank. So dapat meron silang tao na tinatawag na business development or other businesses sa bangko na nag-handle ng mga aspect na yon. Because that is beyond the normal process of the bank of withdrawing, depositing, transaction, and whatever. Yung mga items na yun will help you build your wealth. Bakit? Kasi if you have the access to loans, you will be able to use other people's money to build your own wealth out of, like buying a real estate that yields more money to you, or buying investment items na pinahiram sa'yo, or buying equipment that will be able to yield your business growth, or for your business itself, no, pang kapital mo sa negosyo mo para may makabili ka ng maraming inventory para ma-expand mo yung capabilities ng business mo. So that's one. Number two is, as I said, investment products. No, if they're able to facilitate investment like a mutual fund or any growth investment fund na pwede lang ibigay sa iyo, or a term deposit, or let's say bonds transaction, anything that you will earn interest from beyond the normal savings account, which is 1%, 2% max. Pag binigyan ka ng 5%, 7%, 15% year-on-year average dun sa investment na vehicle na meron sila, di nag-grow ka na ng wealth mo. 'Di ba? Kasi year-on-year tumataas yan. And of course, you build your credit history. Once you build your credit history with them, mas mataas na yung confidence nila ngayon na pahiramin ka ng mas malaking amount of money.
Correct.
Kaya meron kang credit score na kinami-maintain.
Yeah. So, clarify ko lang, no? So, the banks, no? Like, as we know, yung mga popular banks or top banks sa Philippines, we have Metro Bank, we have BPI, we have BDO, etc. So, these banks, kasi marami din nakakaalam, these banks, they offer investment opportunities.
Yes.
So, marami silang investment products there, like mutual funds, like you mentioned, mga bonds and whatnot. And then, meron din kasing other channels in terms of investing sa mga mutual fund, yung mga financial institutions like I don't know, sa Philippine Stock Exchange.
Sa Philippine Stock Exchange, COL,
Right.
Yun yung mga direct brokers.
Correct.
Doon lang din nagko-connect itong mga bangko na to.
Correct. So, why would you, kumaga, the question now is the bank a better source for investment products or directly dun sa mga brokers? What's your...
If you're seasoned enough, you go directly to the source. But if you're not seasoned enough, let your bank do it for you.
Okay. Pero, in effect, mas conservative ang ang gains, no? Pag sa bank
mas conservative ang gains. Bakit? Siyempre, kailangan tumubo pa yung bangko eh.
Correct, yeah. Okay.
Pero of course, kung hindi ka marunong mag-invest, let's say, gumawa ka ng, medyo lalayo tayo sa topic ng konti. Let's say, gusto mo mag-invest sa stock market, tapos kumuha ka ng portfolio na 4 na companies. Ayala, Jollibee, BPI, Globe. Let's say, 4 yung pinili mo. Bumili ka ng stocks nun. Tapos overall, on the average, pag dinad mo lahat, kumikita ka ng 12% doon. No? What if yung pinagpasukan mo ng bangko at doon ka kumuha ng investment vehicle, nag-i-invest din sila doon sa 4 na yon, or probably more, most likely more. No? Invest sila real estate, in portfolio nila, meron silang utilities, power, Meralco, meron silang other things, no? And they can gain 15% for you because they made 25%. So they give you 15%, they get 10% out of that. You're happy, they're happy. Your 15% inside the bank yields more than the 12% that you did your own.
Right.
Kung hindi ka pa marunong, magsimula ka dito.
Yeah.
Meron silang capacity to help you with that.
Okay.
Kasi yun ang trabaho nila eh. Hiramin nila yung pera mo para pagkitaan. So kailangan, dapat ibig sabihin, you have to trust that they have these people knowing what to do and how to do it.
Right. So makikisakay ka dun sa expertise nila, no?
Makikisakay ka sa mga expertise nila. So paano mo malalaman kung magaling ba talaga sila? Kuha ka ng historical nila. Ano ba yung historical mo sa investment? Patingin nga ng investment portfolio vehicles mo, investment vehicles mo na pwedeng kong pasukan. Tignan mo, ano bang history niyan? Uy, maganda, gumigain sila ng gantong amount. Hindi ko alam kasi kung paano pumasok sa stock market. Sige, sa iyo ko na lang ilalagay yung investment ko.
So that's a big takeaway, no? So now we know na the banks not only is there to keep your money and a vehicle to do transactions, but meron din silang investment products. Kung meron kang excess money, you can talk to the bank and talk about the options mo when it comes to investment. Would you know how much is the minimum investment sa mga products ng bank?
Hindi ko alam sa Philippines. I don't know if 10,000 pesos or what. Dito, I think $500 to $1,000, which means it's equivalent to about 35,000 pesos, no? 15 to 30, 70 to 35,000 pesos equivalent. Um, pero kung titingnan mo kasi, that's way of marketing na, kunyari, may mayaman, ang pinapasok niyang deposito sa bangko is 1 million per year. So nagiging siya ng 1 million per year, pero ang kinikita niya talaga is 5 million. Tapos ang ginagawa niya, ini-invest niya sa iba or nililipat niya sa lalagay niya sa ibang bangko din kasi ginagamit niya yung bangko na yun for transactional purposes. Pang-invite din nila yun na, bakit hindi mo ilabas yung pera mo doon, ilagay mo na lang sa akin, dito ka mag-invest sa akin. May investment facility din ako. Hindi lang deposit and withdrawal transaction na magagawa mo sa akin.
Correct. So just like yung nabanggit natin kanina na e-wallet sa GCash, no? Meron na silang ino-open na ganun.
Yes.
Pero self-service na siya. Hindi mo kailangan kumausap ng somebody. Though better pa rin kung meron kang advisor kasi sila yung nagbibigay sa iyo ng, like I said kanina, makikiride ka dun sa expertise nila. So you don't have to, learn things on your own.
Correct.
Parang ganun.
Lalo na kung natatakot ka na hindi ka marunong natatakot ka, baka mawala mo lang. Kumbaga, hindi ka secure dun sa ideas na alam mo. Oo, alam mo yung process siguro dahil tinuruan ka. Sige, bili ako ng stocks ng Jollibee, Ayala, ano yung sinasabi ko kanina, BPI and Globe. Pero hindi mo alam kung paano susundan, paano ibebenta. May transactions din yun, di ba? Kailan ka magbe-buy, kailan ka magsisell.
Pero, when it comes to relying to banks, is there like a threshold? Baka nag-over-rely ka na sa bank and, what are the risks of relying too much on banks, particularly in wealth building, no?
Actually, yung sa investment vehicles, parang separate area yan kasi hindi yan kasama sa PDIC mo na deposit. Parang iba talagang facility yun ng department, no? Basta alam mo lang na, sigurado ka lang na yung kausap mo, you can manage that transaction separately. For example, for me, I have an account for investments, an account for savings, account for current, account for building loans or using my loans, whatever. Yung transaction ko dun sa account ko na yun, pwede kong i-transact separately out of my other accounts. No?
Right.
But again, if you're asking ilang amount or percentage ng pera ko ilalagay ko dun, better to spread it around as well. Use, kung meron ka kay BPI, meron ka kay Metrobank, ako, meron ako kay ENZ, meron din ako kay Westpac. So, yun yung mga way of, and you have to review also gano'n ba sila ka-reliable? Matagal na ba silang bangko? Matagal na ba lang ginagawa ito? Mga ganong aspect.
And it's important to note also to, have a record of those things, no? Kasi marami namang mga apps right now, yung mga personal finance money management, na para naman monitor mo din yung portfolio mo. Like you said, may checking account ka, may savings account, may investments. Dapat yan nakatali sa'yo and you also monitor kung ano na ba yung gain or loss mo in particular account. Ano?
Actually, lamang yung mga modern na apps na sinasabi mo. Kasi sila, dinesign talaga nila na convenient. Nakikita mo araw-araw kung paano bumabago yung investment mo. Whereas sa banko, re-report lang nila sa'yo on a regular basis kung ano na resulta.
Correct.
Hindi sila open na magbibigay sa'yo ng mga reports. No?
Oo nga, yeah.
Kasi at the end of the day, pagkikitaan muna nila yun bago ka bibigyan ng share. So hindi mo masusundan kung gaano kalaki talaga yung kinita dahil sila yung kikita muna. But it's alright. Diba? As long as kumikita ka.
Yeah,
hindi mo naman alam kung paano gawin diba?
Yeah. Yun nga, maganda talaga na, kung hindi ka pa confident to do it on your own and doing investments outside the bank, you can initially start relying on banks to learn how to invest, And then,
correct,
kung medyo confident ka na, then you go to the next level, which leads me to the question, ano ba yung other alternatives in, keeping all money in a bank? Ano pa bang mga alternative options?
We've mentioned a little bit about that earlier, like investing on real estate, right?
Mm.
That's an opportunity for you to build wealth.
Mm.
Meaning, pag hindi mo ginamit yung pera mo na ilagay mo sa bangko para kumita doon, um, ibili mo siya ng real estate, you'd be able to earn from rental or from land banking.
Mm.
Ang tawag nga doon is word land banking kasi pag parang binangko mo yung pera mo sa isang
Property.
open property,
Mm.
tapos hinayaan mo lang mag-grow because alam mo na tataas yung value ng lupa na yon,
Mm.
no? Another way is, of course, decentralized format, which is cryptocurrency,
Mm.
or pwede kang kasi sabi natin kanina yung bangko is a source of borrowing money, no? So meron naman diyan ibang nagpapahiram ng pera na hindi necessarily yung bangko.
Mm.
So ang tawag doon peer-to-peer lending. So pwede kang humiram ng pera sa ibang sources.
Right. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I think diversification talaga is the key, no, to wealth building. At the same time, like me, I'm practicing averaging. So I just commit a certain amount or percentage of my income per month, in spreading it across my investment. Na not necessarily a big chunk, no. Kumbaga small gradual investment, and then you just check in every 3 or 6 months to see if kung hindi ka like, kasi yung iba talagang hardcore, di ba, talagang minomonitor nila yung pagbaba, pagtaas ng stock market, and then buy and sell, para sila nagte-trading buy and sell, no. It's not, I'm not saying na it's not a good practice, pero if you have the time and passion for it, pero just to simplify things, diversification and then averaging, that's my personal take on it. How about you? What's your, in the grand scheme of investment, what's your general advice or your personal practice when it comes to that?
Iba-iba yung strategy ko for each type of investment. For example, as I mentioned, land banking. We bought properties, and then land properties lang yon. Yung iba, nilagyan namin ng structure, tataas yung value niya because the structure nagkaroon ng purpose. Pero kung plain land lang siya, hanggat wala siyang purpose, plain land lang siya. Pero both will grow based on what is the purpose that you wanted, no? Number two, on stocks, you can buy and sell stocks. For instance, during the COVID, we bought Pfizer because I've heard that Pfizer will be able to build yung vaccine. So immediately after nung nagkakaroon na ng open na ng pandemic, hindi na tayo naka-lockdown, pinenta ko rin kagad. Kasi hindi ko naman nakikita na mas malaki pa yung growth ng stock na yon. Nung tumataas ang Tesla, bumili ako ng Tesla instead of buying a Tesla car, which I really love kasi nga bago siya, pero alam ko mahal, mas mahal pa kaysa dun sa normal na kotse. Tapos nasa experimental lang siya. So ang ginawa ko is I bought the two Tesla cars value in stocks at pinagtubuan ko siya. So and then binenta ko rin yung part of it, kinip ko yung iba. So meron akong ibebenta, may hold. So ganun yung mga style, no? Stock market, real estate, and then some of the money you put it in bonds. Kasi nung time na nagkakaroon ng recession and merong mga fear of economic meltdown, siyempre doon ka sa pinaka-safe na vehicle. Kahit maliit lang yan, 5% lang ang return sa niyan, better pa rin kaysa negative. So maglagay ka rin ng pera mo doon.
Right.
So ano pa, precious items, no? You keep precious items with you, no? In the terms of gold, silver quality na mga items para mag-grow. I have an item that is now doubled its value, no? Dahil medyo mahal yung item na yon, mahirap hanapin lalo na nagkakaroon na siya ng may age na siya, no? Yung item na yon. So
Right.
that's something really, that's why wealth building is really about mindset consciousness na kailangan lumalago. Hindi pwede yung pa-digress yung value ng ini-investan mo.
Right.
So yun ang mga principles ko niyan. And of course, banking is one way of utilizing investment. And as I said, until now we have term deposit in the bank. We have investment growth fund, but that's what we call it, with aggressive high risk. We have mutual fund capabilities that's utilizing the bank. So, iba-iba eh. Pero
Right.
magagawa mo lang yan, mapapractice mo lang yan once conscious ka na talaga dun sa mga needs. Kaya nga itong way of opening up ideas to everyone using this podcast is it's a big thing na gusto nating mag-open sa kanila.
Yun. So, dami nating take away today, no?
Oo.
While, habang kinikwento mo pa lang yung mga strategies mo, parang na-motivate akong gawin din eh.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. So, I think maybe we can wrap this up, no?
Sure, yes. Thank you so much, Dennis. And we appreciate that the audience coming over to watch us, no? Although we're still building this podcast, I believe and I feel that the value that we're giving out to those who will listen, both in New Zealand or Philippines or somewhere else, no, mga Filipinos kahit sa ibang bansa, sana maintindihan nila at unti-unti nilang matutunan yung wealth
That's
building
right.
journey. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that is it for today. For today's episode of our Wealth Building Journey podcast. So just remember, so wealth building is about more than just keeping the money safe, no? It's about growing it and finding the right balance between security and opportunities. So if you enjoyed in today's episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could benefit, no, from these insights. So we'll be back next week, no? Definitely. With more tips and topics and strategies to help you take your financial journey to the next level. So thanks for listening or watching, and until next time, stay focused on building your wealth. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Thank you.
Dennis.